to all of our nominees. Congratulations on your nomination, and to all of the family members of the nominees who are here, thank you for supporting your loved ones in this process. It is a family affair, and I am very, very grateful, especially to the children in the audience who are going to be sharing their parents with the American people, and they deserve our thanks for that, too. I want to start with a question for you, Mr. Chopra. Given your finance background, I want to ask you about student loan scams. Predatory student loan providers remain a serious problem for American consumers. These companies exploit vulnerable young people by charging outrageously high, often illegal upfront fees in addition to monthly charges. The FTC in several states began a crackdown on this kind of activity last fall, but it is clear that more needs to be done at the federal level to make sure that these kind of predatory companies cannot operate anywhere and harm consumers in the United States. What more can the FTC do to fight this kind of predatory lending behavior?
Well, Senator Hassan, this bears an uncanny resemblance to the foreclosure crisis, where as mortgages went bad, foreclosure relief firms, which many of were fraudulent, preyed on so many communities that were hit hard by foreclosures. There is a student loan default in this country once every 28 seconds.
Wow.
That's 3,000 a day, over $1 million a year. And we discussed this. I know there's been some criticism of the FTC on being late to this, but I really think that the staff has done a terrific job on its student debt relief work, and I think we need to amplify that work and look to work with attorneys general and others to make sure that we are not allowing a repeat of what we saw in the aftermath of the foreclosure crisis.
Thank you very much for that answer. This is a question for the panel, and again, we have limited time, so I'll start with Mr. Simons and work down. But in the past, the FTC has looked at video games, issuing a report on the marketing of violent video games to children in 2009 and in 2013. It also studied the Entertainment Software Rating Board, or ESRB, finding it one of the most effective voluntary enforcement boards. That's why I'm confident that the ESRB will take this issue seriously. So today I am sending a letter to the ESRB outlining my concerns with microtransactions, which may take the form of loot boxes, that's what they're called, and allow in-game purchases for surprise winnings. And in many cases, these are being marketed to and used by children who are obviously particularly susceptible to being addicted to them. Last month, the World Health Organization recognized gaming disorder as a diagnosable disorder. We should be doing all we can to protect our children and to inform parents about their options when it comes to these types of games. So the question for you are, do you agree that children being addicted to gaming and activities like loot boxes that might make them more susceptible to addiction is a problem that merits our attention? And depending on how the ESRB responds to my inquiry, would the FTC be willing to look at loot boxes as an issue independently? And I'll start with you, Mr. Simons.
Yes, I would agree on both counts.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Wilson.
As the mother of 2 teenagers, I would agree that the extent to which teenagers play video games is certainly of concern, and I would be willing to talk with staff and get more up to speed on this issue should I be confirmed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Phillips.
Yes, Senator. While I am not yet expert on this issue, I have credible reason to believe that I will become or be forced to be an expert on it going forward.
Yes.
And I look forward to working with career staff, with my colleagues, and with you on that issue.
Thank you, Mr. Chopra.
Yes, Senator.
Well, thank you. I have one more question that will take up far more than the 45 seconds I have left. So why don't I decide to submit that in writing? Thank you all very, very much, and yield back my time, Mr. Chair.